Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to Avorion with LD7, and today we are going to be covering turrets. So there's three main categories of turrets. You've got mining turrets, salvaging turrets, and combat turrets. Those are the three types, right? So it's going to be a three-part episode, no worries there. We're going to cover each category in one episode. That's how I want to do it. So to begin with, we're going to start with mining turrets. So mining turrets, I'm sure you're familiar with if you've played the game at all, is how you gather resources. So there's two types, or main types, of mining turrets. You've got regular turrets and R mining turrets. So let me just pull this up so we can actually look at them. Let's see, turrets, and if we go by type, mining turrets are probably towards the end, maybe? Here, we can filter. So if we type in mine, it will sort our mining turrets first. Or it's supposed to. There we go. Mining, maybe. Alright, so there's two types. There's R mining and regular mining. So there's some differences between the two types of mining turrets that are worth talking about. So the regular mining turrets, they're great. They allow you to directly harvest resources from the asteroids, and you don't have to refine it. So as you mine, you build up your resource counter, so you can upgrade a little bit quicker using these types of turrets in theory. And that's because you immediately get the resources as opposed to having to refine them. However, with these regular mining turrets, usually the DPS is lower, usually the efficiency is a lot lower, and usually the range, the range may be lower, may be higher, it just depends on the specific turret, but the efficiency and DPS will be lower than the R mining. So what that means is, it's going to take longer for these types of turrets, just the basic ones, to mine through a resource asteroid, and in addition, you won't get as many resources using these turrets when compared with R mining turrets. So let's look at an R mining turret. So this is a titanium double R mining turret. So its DPS, it's higher than the iron one primarily because it's a better material, but also because it's an R mining turret. Like if I had a regular titanium mining turret, its DPS would probably be about 20. So usually you're going to get about a 50% increase in DPS going to an R mining turret, so you're going to get through asteroids quicker. Second, on the efficiency, as you can see, it's 79.4. That's in percentage, so almost 80% efficiency. What that means is, if you look at the asteroids, like if you highlight them, we'll go ahead and show that. So if I highlight this asteroid, it'll say the type of asteroid, trinium, and 3.99k. So 3.99k is the max I could possibly get out of that asteroid while mining. So if I was using this turret, I'd only get 80% of that. However, compared to a regular turret, which is going to average maybe, I don't know, 8%, something in that neighborhood, you get about 10 times more resources out of each asteroid using our mining turrets as opposed to regular turrets. In addition, as you upgrade the tier and the turret types, that tech level at the very top will increase. If you have a really high tech level turret, the DPS efficiency and range will be pretty much maxed out for the item level. As you get higher in the item level, the ranges for what those statistical modifiers can be increase. So the low end increases to a higher number, or a higher base number, and the cap increases to a higher base number. So that's kind of how the turrets work stats wise, and kind of their function, and why you would maybe pick one over the other. The other big thing to talk about when you're discussing regular turrets and R mining turrets is cargo capacity. So in order to use R mining turrets, you have to have cargo base space in order to store ore. So when you use an R mining turret as opposed to a regular turret, you don't gather the resources directly, you actually gain whatever the material is in an ore form that has to be refined. You refine it by going to a resource depot. They're scattered throughout the system. Sometimes you can find them in the mining sector you're in. Sometimes you have to make one jump. It just depends a little bit on where you're doing your mining, but you have to go refine this ore in order to get the resources out. So you need to have cargo space. My personal opinion is you want to have at least 1500 cargo space before you start messing around with our mining turrets. And the reason for that is if you don't have 1500 space, you're not going to be able to store a lot of ore. So if you find one really big asteroid of whatever material, you won't be able to collect the whole thing without filling up your cargo bay if you're using our mining turrets. So that's kind of the guidelines. I would say try to build a ship with 1500 cargo space if you're planning on using our mining lasers. But it's definitely worth it. Like if you can afford the materials and the credits and everything to build a ship with 1500 cargo space or more, it's worth having our mining turrets as opposed to the regular ones. You get way more resources out of it. They acquire faster because the turrets are better in general. Yeah, you have to make a stop at the resource depot, which may take a couple minutes, but those 2 minutes compared to just the base resource generation difference you're going to get between our mining and base mining turrets, it more than pays for itself. So when you're making auto mining ships at the start, you probably won't have the resources or credits available to you in order to, effectively use our mining turrets. You probably could set one up with a small cargo bay and it'll be fine. It'll just take forever because it'll be jumping back and forth between sectors. But, you could in theory do that. What I've done though is, at this point, all the mining ship templates that I've got, for the most part, have no cargo space to be able to use our mining lasers, so I just use regular ones on those. I do have a template, however, for our mining ship. It's this one. I call it my cargo ship. It's not too bad. I mean, you do need to have almost 2.5 million credits to build it, so it's pretty pricey in that sense, and you need about 200,000 Xanian, which is quite a bit. So it's expensive to set one up. But once you get one of these and you set it up in the Xanian Trinium sector or whatever material you're trying to build up a lot of with our mining turrets, it's more than going to pay for itself. Like, it'll probably pay off all the materials that it costs to build that ship if you put it in a good Xanian asteroid sector in, less than 30 minutes would be my guess, just because our mining lasers are that powerful. So that's basically how the turrets work. I did want to show you how they actually fire. So I've got on this particular ship a Xanian R mining turret and 2 Trinium R mining turrets. So the efficiency is not the best on these, and that's because they're only gray and white levels, so level 1 and level 2. If I had them at orange level like this launcher turret, those numbers would be so much better, but that's okay, it's fine. They're good enough for what we're trying to do, and they're still better than just a regular mining turret. So we've got this asteroid highlighted. If you fly up, they mine, you left click just like you would do to fire any other turret, and you kind of just go through and mine the asteroid. So these turrets go through Trinium pretty well because they're at Trinium level. However, Xanian, it does okay because I've got that Xanian turret, but since the bulk of my turret space is occupied by Trinium level turrets, Xanian takes a little bit longer at the moment for me. But basically what happens as I mine away this asteroid, I get Xanian ore inside my cargo space, assuming these blocks can fit. If I don't have space in my cargo hold, the ore will just be thrown out into space and kind of float there for a while. I'm going to recall these fighters just because pirates are coming, but that is basically how mining turrets work. If I was using regular turrets as opposed to getting ore while using the turret, I'd be getting Xanian directly or Trinium directly. So that's in essence how mining turrets work. In the next episode, we're going to be covering combat turrets because I'm going to show off fighting some pirates to begin with, so you can kind of see the mechanics of turrets like that. and then we'll go into detail a little bit on the different turret types and why you might want to use one type over the other. Anyway guys, that is all the time we've got for today. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always, and until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya.